IVM.
This is Shootball, and we're back. Technically, we were away for just, a couple of weeks. It's the perfect isolation period to get rid of any seething doubts, disagreements, disillusionments that you have with us and we have with our teams. But then 2 blinks, a wink, and a new Grand Slam champion later, we're back and we're complaining once again. Because the Premier League in all its manufactured glory has returned. But before we get to all the football stuff, let's check in on us. We haven't made any transfers yet for Shootball, although the window is still open. I'm Karthik, your third choice host. I'm your utility player, the keeper of bills, the submitter of invoices, and I don't seem to do any of that right. But then we go to the brains behind the podcast, behind Shootball, Gaurav Sapre. Now, from what I've heard in this window, Gaurav Sapre was being eyed by the bigger players in the market. But let's be honest, some of the stories that are coming out in the tabloids about him, about his partying habits, are not doing him any favors. Gaurav, welcome back to Shootball. It's been a long time since I've seen you, man.
Thank you, man. That's the worst introduction ever. I started doubting my own credentials, dude, when you said that. Also, I'm not the brains behind the podcast. I'm the top squad player. I'm the John O'Shea of this podcast. But thank you, man. It's great. Finally, football is back. I'm so happy, yeah. My team is yet to play, but I'm so happy. I'm glad it didn't play because we would have had a loss otherwise in the first week itself. But yeah, lovely having all of you back. And season 2, never thought we'd do season 2.
Okay, so then we'll move from John O'Shea / Gaurav Sapre to our star man, our star striker, Shivram Parmeshwaran. He, listener, is next in line to host the Joe Rogan experience, yeah? And the only thing keeping him from, hosting that next Trump-Biden debate that Rogan is apparently going to have is the issue over the name. Because Shivram, being as smart as he is, wants to change the name from the Joe Rogan experience. And we have tried to tell him that Shiv experience or Shiva experience or Parm experience doesn't have the same, what is it, Shiva? The impact as the Joe. Yeah.
Yeah, like Shiv Vada Pav is more punch than Shiv.
So that's why for the time being, Shiva is sticking around with Shootball for yet another season.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Karthik, for such a warm welcome. I don't know if you know, but I have a new mic. I don't know if you know, I have old podcasters with me, but always happy to be back. I concur with Sapre's sentiment that surprising that we are back for season 2. Surprising for us, amusing for IVM. I think they just like having us around where that, one relative that you want to see get drunk at the wedding because uske paas to kuch fun hoga. At least some fun will happen. And and of course there's football. I mean, we'll get started with the rest of that soon. But happy to see the both of you. I know I met Karthik very recently, but he's flown back to Bangalore. And we're again in 3 different places. I'm in Bombay, Karthik's in Bangalore, and Sapre's in Badala. So very different places.
Okay, yeah, but what we can continue and what we are going to continue is our naming convention. Like we had a lot of discussion during the off season saying should we change it around, but no, we're going with our Bollywood theme because it's a Naya Daur for football. It's a Naya Daur for this podcast. I have no idea what I'm saying, but I know Naya Daur is the name of a movie. Although I don't know what Daur means.
Darwaza.
No, I think it means a new era considering the pandemic, it's also the new normal. So the Naya Daur fits in doubly well. I think you made a very wise choice, Karthik, with this one. And anyone who's out there complaining about Karthik's naming convention can take a hike.
And it's also some sports drama, from what I remember in 1957.
Okay, stop. Don't get ahead. Relax. Like, take a compliment and leave on a high. Don't get ahead of yourself. Just like your team you support, we'll get to that slowly. I'm taking my time.
I had another pun because you said it's doubly good as a name for the podcast. We have Dusra Naya Daur as the theme. That's all. That's my pun.
That's your pun. Yeah. Where is the pun, bro?
I feel like we're back in season 1.
Guys, the people are the same. The standards are lower. Welcome back to season 2. We'll be back after these messages.
Welcome, everybody, to another great week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you aren't following us on social media, do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Like to thank our sponsors this week, Intel. It's been a great week on the network this week. If you haven't been paying attention, please do listen to some of the shows. We had Chetan Bhagat. This was the first returning guest on Cyrus Says. Do check that out. Great episode. We had Palak Zakakia on Advertising is Dead. Really interesting conversation was had with Varun. We had another crossover on the habit coach. Zarina Poonawala showed up over there to have a discussion with Ashton about anxiety and pressure. Begin the Journey with Ashi Vidyarthi continues to kill it. Please definitely do check it out. An old friend, Vijay Koshi, was on Storytellers and Storysellers. Do check that out as well. And I'd like to mention one thing. If you're a Tamil speaker, you should definitely check out our podcast, Kadai Podcast Punyan Selvan. Kavita Jiva has done a fantastic job to finish up her first story. It is the last episode which just came out last Monday. Do check it out if you speak Tamil. It is an incredible achievement. Please do check that out. And with that, let's get you onto your show.
Okay, so welcome back to Season 2, Episode 1 of Shootball, Naya, Daur. And what are we going to go through today? Let's see. Let's start with, I think we'll start with Arsenal's narrow. I'm sure some people would say lucky win on the opening match of the Premier League.
Who are these people? Where are they? What is wrong with them? Are they the 3 Fulham supporters that exist?
Okay, so, but then, okay, let's dive in head on into the match. I mean, all said and done, damn, I so badly wanted Fulham to somehow at least get a point because of all this 2 trophies in 1 month, more trophies than every other team except Bayern and PSG in 2020. Like, I was getting a little tired of this, but Arsenal somehow managed to absolutely dominate and deserve all 3 points.
I think fantastic game, and coming from an Arsenal fan to a Fulham supporter, we did have a quick chat about this. The original plan was that we will watch the game together, but I think wisdom prevailed from Karthik's ears, and he decided to book a flight to Bangalore the day of the game, and he was home safe, well in time to see the annihilation that followed. I was honestly giving Fulham a chance because, of course, there was Mitrovic, who is a fantastic striker. I mean, there are no 2 ways about it. There is a question about the reason that he's chosen to stay back at Fulham. He could do better at other places, and I'm sure you won't disagree. But guessing that he didn't start, you didn't have any teeth in the attack. Arsenal are not the best defensively, even though that seems to have improved. But yeah, I think Fulham will be the whipping boys for the rest of the season from what I see.
They are.
I was very happy for both Gabriel and Willian. I think
pronounce his second name. Gabriel's second name.
Magalhaes.
Not bad.
I think the confidence helps. I don't know if that is right.
Yeah, it's not right. That's the very English pronunciation. I think there's a proper Portuguese way of doing it. But I was hoping Sapre would say something.
No, I've stopped saying stupid things now. Season 2.
We'll find out.
At least Naya Daur. So I'm happy for Willian. Got a 3-year contract with Arsenal. Kicked out Pepe in the first game. So very nice. Oba also scored. Good. Arsenal. It's like every season, right? They do well at the beginning, and then they raise everybody's hopes, and then they fall flat. So,
are you being mean because we forgot your birthday, or this is generally you?
No. This is reality. Season 1, Season 2. Season 10, this is what it's going to be.
Everyone's forgotten your birthday for so long. I'm so sad. Exactly. But very happy birthday to Sapre, belated. Sapre is now officially 40 years old. He's the oldest member of this podcast, followed by me, who's 31, and Karthik, who's 31 also. So both of us are the same age.
Very good.
Sapre, unfortunately, fortunately for him, 40 is a ripe old age to be watching football for so long. He was, I think, the first Indian to watch the 1966 World Cup also. He's been following English players since then. What was it? West Germany, right? West Germany.
Yeah, 4-2 in the final.
I saw George Best making his debut.
Yeah.
At some point.
That is how you kill a joke. Let's keep going, Sapre.
But I don't know. Why was Mitrovic on the bench?
He has a hammy.
What?
Hammy. What we say in footballing circles. He has a hammy problem.
I think everyone who has had a hamstring problem calls it a hammy, not specifically these elite footballing circles that you're that includes you, me, and Sapre and Karan.
No, sir. I mean, he's hurt. But yeah, I mean, it looks like unless buy somebody, and Fulham looked okay. There was that chance in the beginning where Leno and Gabriel had a bit of miscommunication, but Leno saved the day there. But yeah, this weekend was this opening match was about Arsenal. Like you said, Willian 3-year contract, 3 assists on the first day itself. Oba doing what Oba does. It was even so amazing. I think the confidence at Arsenal is so high. And even Mesut Ozil is trying a brilliant PR exercise to win his place back. Yeah, he's doing an Ask Me Anything. He's praising all his teammates. He's kind of praising the manager as well, Arteta as well. So I think he could also be included in the fold. And that's just outstanding.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game well played. If Ozil could get off his thumbs and on his feet for a while, maybe that will help turn Arteta's mood around, because you've seen Arteta react very differently to people who have proven to be a problem in the dressing room, including Guendouzi in the past. So I think Mesut Ozil will have to go above and beyond doing an Ask Me Anything on Twitter of all things.
I just want to say one thing though about El Neni. Okay, he was, I thought, had a pretty impressive performance. I mean, particularly coming from a guy who last year was out on loan. There is all this talk of Arsenal needing more midfielders, even though Ceballos is back and Guendouzi may stay. But if El Neni performs, I mean, it's only Fulham. Yes, I get it. But if El Neni performs the way he did over the weekend, I think it's a worthwhile investment to make for Arsenal, considering he's had a year's experience at Besiktas.
Yeah, you know what? They faced Fulham. It's okay. Let's not talk much about Elmini and what.
Elmini? Don't get into your personal life. Okay. What was talking about Elmini and all?
Nan Kataiya, whatever those players that Arsenal have.
Let's talk about Van Bissaka.
At Fulham, it's okay.
Yeah, okay. So let's move on from Arsenal. Let's move on to a game that happened just last night. Chelsea laid down a marker. I know it wasn't the most impressive performance for a half. In the second half, they were decent. It's fine. This is a new side. But what was interesting was at the end of the match, Lampard came out and said, yes, we are competing with Liverpool for the title. He was 33 points behind last season. Is he being foolhardy, or is there a chance that this team could actually be Premier League title challengers?
I don't think they're Premier League title championship contenders. They'll definitely play better than last season. But looking at the Kepa's game yesterday, I don't think a lot has changed at the back. But when you spend so much money, you have nothing else to say. You have to say that. Plus, I think it's Jurgen Klopp who started saying that we're not Chelsea, we can't spend so much money, and then Lampard kind of felt disappointed what Klopp said. I don't think they're going to win. They had a good game. Werner, I think, was very good today. He made those runs. Kai Havertz he's getting in the game, but they've got good players.
That is exactly how Kai Havertz is. I'm telling you, I've maintained it from the start. Kai Havertz fleets in and out of games. He plays well for 2 minutes out of 90 minutes in a game, and it happens once every 3 games. He's not a 100 million player by any stretch. He'll improve. He's young. He's only 21, but currently he is nowhere as great as people say. Just when Pulisic is fit, Pulisic should play.
But why are you worried? They got a world record signing in that keeper who plays once in 10 games. It's Chelsea. How does it matter? It's okay.
I mean, I know Karthik's hatred. I mean, extreme hatred for Lampard.
Yeah, Lampard is a little hate, but Havertz, I want him to do well, but he's fine. Yeah, he's okay.
I think that comment, right? Like, I'm an Arsenal fan, so I can tell delusion when I see it. That is not going to happen. They cannot compete with Liverpool no matter what you want. You will
stop you right there. In our predictions that we did at the end of season 1, Shivram said Chelsea are going to win the title. We will never let you forget it. Okay, so you cannot change your mind by saying Naya Daur season 2. I'm coming out with something new. Nothing of that sort.
I watched them play against BHA. Right? There's an Albion in the name. Right? They are technically not meant to do well. They look like they had a chance at some points in the game, even when that Trossard shot. And I saw this tweet where someone said, and it's also very English, if an English goalkeeper had made that mistake, they would have said the bounce did him in. Mm-hmm. But when it's Kepa, they're like, he should have known that it bounced. Right? You see how they look at different people differently. But that is a larger systemic problem. We won't get into that just yet. I agree that I did say that, but I thought a bunch of superstars will come together and play well, like the Galacticos. This feels like United buying expensive players and not doing anything with it.
I think you all both were just tired on a Monday night and I didn't want to stay awake that late. That's why you all are so down on Chelsea. I watched it this morning, extended highlights, and I think they were fine. So,
extended highlights is 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I saw the game. I don't think Chelsea deserved those 3 goals. They didn't do too much to get those 3 goals. Brighton, in fact, played really well. The first goal was their own mistake. And they had some decent chances, but the Jorginho penalty and everything else just fell in place.
Chelsea will get opened up.
They're playing Liverpool.
They'll get opened up. Arsenal will get opened up. If you watch the Arsenal game at 75 minutes, they were showing cracks. Just because Fulham is worse off is because you couldn't see those cracks being dominated. But if they play against a better team in the top 6, let alone top 6, let's say Wolves, if you saw them play, they were pretty clinical. If you see these teams, and even Leeds for that matter, fairly clinical with their finishing. If these teams don't splash away the chances, you will see all these teams open up.
So good, both of you all mentioned Liverpool and Leeds. Let's bring them together. It was the most cracking game of the weekend. Liverpool beat Leeds 4-3. If it was United, we would be complaining about the number of penalties given to Liverpool. But because it's not United, we can't really say much because Salah is God. So Salah scores 2 penalties and another cracking goal, it must be said. And he played extremely well for the 90 minutes. And okay, let's be honest. Both those penalties were idiotic. Those 2 new signings for Leeds, Robin Koch and that Rodrigo, came in and just in the 80th minute, he is hacking the guy down, man. I mean, what was that? Yeah, like this was a tired kick.
It's not even tired because he just came on. Plus, I think it's more as I think the footballing circles refer to it as a striker's challenge, where they don't really know how to position their body. And when I say they, I mean we have no idea how to tackle. I know how to be selfish. That's about it. But yeah, they could point to note for FPL also, which we'll get to in a second, that no one was expecting Leeds to be this open, and Leeds have done really well. Karthik, you followed the championship closely last year. Leeds have done really well. They've had a lot of clean sheets, so we were hoping that backline would be Bielsa balls.
So I'll just put something there just to bring that in context. They had Liam Cooper and Ben White last season. I think Cooper is hurt currently, and Ben White's gone back to Brighton, so their central defense is not the same. Just that.
So are you saying, are they a good, will they also be like a set of whipping boys?
I wouldn't think so. I would think that they will do. This is Liverpool. At the end of the day, we're talking about Premier League champions here who came in and they still got 2 penalties. Yeah, let's not forget that as well. So if Leeds can cut out some of those stupid mistakes, I think that there was a chance they could have come away with a point, no doubt about it. Although Liverpool were the better side. They had like thrice the number of shots Leeds had, etc., etc. They were clearly the better side. Leeds did well for themselves. I mean, you won't be as down on Leeds as you are on both Fulham and West Brom after the opening weekend.
Yeah, I would agree to that.
But there was something about Liverpool. There were 2 of the goals that they conceded. And Trent had a bad game, Sapre. And one was a Virgil van Dijk mistake, and he seems to have 1 or 2 mistakes a year. I think all great defenders will have those
1 or 2 mistakes a year.
I would think so, no? I mean, obvious mistakes. I don't mean like positional wise and stuff. I mean like this.
Lead to goals.
Directly lead to goals. I don't mean like, I mean,
like the Lacazette goal that happened when you played us. Okay.
So things like that. But is there anything we should take out of it, Sapre? Any knee-jerk reactions? Do you feel that Liverpool are not as strong? Is Trent Alexander-Arnold overrated, as I think he is because he's English? And should he play up front like a Gareth Bale on the right wing?
No, there was just a blip.
I'm very angry. He got me 1 point. Everyone told me take him in FPL and he went and got me 1 point, man. What is this nonsense?
Everybody had him and everybody got 1 point. But that's beside. But he's pissed off that he disappointed so many FPL fans. So Chelsea, watch out. There's some 20-25 points coming from Trent. No, it was okay. It was a good game. I think Leeds played well. They were brave enough. Liverpool weren't probably expecting that. I think it's okay. The forward line is fine. I don't think what Firmino does in the team anymore. But there's a nice meme. I think Shiva, you shared with me. Where Dhamal.
Yeah.
With Vinay updated. That was hilarious. No, it was okay. If Thiago comes, then probably this team would be even better. I don't know if that's going to happen, but it's okay. I think against Chelsea, they'll show that they're true champions.
I know we're breaking topic here, but these transfers seem amazing, right? Both as United and Liverpool keep getting linked with a player. It's almost like they've got his by one hand and he's inside Old Trafford or Anfield, and suddenly the player is no longer there. Sancho, Thiago, like we all thought 1 month ago it was certainties, like 100% that they'll be playing in the Premier League next season.
I would recommend don't hold your breath on these rumors, but especially for United, it's not done until it's done. Let's just leave it at that. We've seen that happen with Bruno Fernandes. We've seen that happen with Harry Maguire. Nahi aana chahta hai. He's playing so well for our team. We will keep him, extending contract. And before the end of the season, fax machine chalu ho jata hai. Suddenly everything starts working. Only De Gea has had a fax machine that doesn't work. For everyone else, including Messi, it seems to work. So let's not go there.
But De Gea's machine will work next season for sure.
अच्छा तुम मशीन भेज रहे हो क्या उसे?
मैं खुद बनाऊंगा 3D printer.
Shivram, you were very, very impressed with Everton. You went on to say that they'll be Premier League champions and all on our WhatsApp group. Like, what's happening?
Sorry, let me set the facts straight because Karthik clearly has been indulging in alcohol again. I said they have a chance to be top 6. They now have a midfield. Surprise, surprise. Dominic Calvert-Lewin has been a finisher for a very long time. What Richarlison has continued doing is wasting chances. I would highly recommend, and again, FPL footnote, Richarlison is a good buy to have considering their games which come up. They have a lot of 2s and 3s in the fixture difficulty rating. So highly probable that they'll get more goals. I don't expect them to keep as many clean sheets. Digne is great. Yeremina, Keane, Coleman, all great. What has really changed is Allen in that defense. Allen's really played that Kante role so well. And he's been that man between, the defense and the midfield. James Rodriguez also up front has been doing a lot of the supplying. So I see them do really well in terms of points over a long period of time.
You can't say James Rodriguez, man. The name's Bond, James Rodriguez. Okay.
Oh, sorry, James Rodriguez.
No, it is James. I was doing the pun on the Times of India headline.
Oh, they did?
The name's Bond, James Rodriguez. How do you guys not remember this?
The Colombia one.
The Colombia one.
I started reading the paper a long time ago, sorry. I get my news on InShots.
My God, come on. This just came in like, it keeps getting circulated as one of the worst headlines ever written. Yeah. And it's sad because I don't remember
It's sad you remember it, yes.
No, the journalist's name, and if any, I know everyone who listens to this podcast knows that headline, so I want to correct this. The journalist's name there, I forget her name currently, but she's not the one who came up with the headline. Journalists, the writers do not write the headlines. It's the sub-editors who do. So blame the desk at Times of India. Don't blame the person whose byline is there.
I would expect Times of India use this for Shane Bond. That seems more in their space. Because
it didn't make any sense. The name's Bond, James Rodriguez. Like, that was the headline. Like, how?
But Everton, on the other hand, did make a lot of sense. So I'm happy for them. I would recommend, Karthik, for you specifically, because I've seen your FPL score already, get Richarlison in. He missed a bunch. He should have gotten a hat-trick.
Yeah, man.
Get him in your team.
I actually took Podence. I think he did okay for Wolves.
He did well. He will do a lot more supply, but are we talking about Wolves already? Because there is Leicester to talk about before that.
No, but before we go to any of the teams, Sapre is looking at me like, Mourinho, kya ho gaya? Sapre, to your favourite manager and your third favourite club, Tottenham Hotspurs. He came out and he started complaining. It's day 1 of the season. There's no Naya Daur for Jose Mourinho.
Fall or nothing. Such a complaining person. No wonder. They were so bereft of ideas. They didn't know what to do, especially after they went a goal down. But they had everybody almost fit. But then he complained about some people had coronavirus. They didn't train. I mean, when you started Ndombele after all that natak you did. We did so much of pep talk to Delhi Ali. We saw that episode on All or Nothing. I could only see 3
correct. Kya amazing hai.
The amount of disinterest on my face and Delhi Ali's face was very similar.
I didn't know, man. He's such a bad. I would expect when you see Pep Guardiola do All or Nothing, I thought kuch to matlab there must be some charm to the person.
Jose Mourinho is one level above Baman Irani in that Dharmanath goal.
This is the old Straffords. That's what he says in the movie, man.
Bakwas. I'm very happy. Mourinho, if there's a side bet going on the first manager to be sacked by a Premier League team, I would want to place my bets on Mourinho.
Not Lampard?
No. Lampard, I want him to struggle and feel the pain of what it is to be a Chelsea manager for that long.
But you're right about Tottenham. Like I've literally written in my notes here. Spurs had their chances in the first half, and like you said, in the second half, Spurs did well to protect Everton's 1-0 lead. Like it is literally what happened, because in the first half they had a few, like there was a little, I think, a Dele Alli chance, and then Son was making a few good runs. In the second half there was absolutely nothing. But yeah, I mean, I think we're going to have to talk a lot more about Spurs and Mourinho in weeks to come, because it doesn't look like this team is heading in the direction I would assume that the club wants to. Two clubs that did pretty well, Wolves we mentioned a little earlier, and Leicester City. So we'll club them together, Shivram. They're both impressive. They're both probably fighting with Everton for those top 6-7 European spots.
Yeah, I think Jimenez specifically, fantastic player up front. I don't remember who said this on the panel yesterday, but if he does as well as he did last year, he won't be at Wolves much longer. They'll probably sell him to Tottenham Hotspurs. What will happen is, I think for Leicester, outside of the 2 penalties that Vardy did score, and again, FPL footnote, he had 0 touches in the box. And Leicester have a fantastic run-up. Who was really unlucky to not get a goal was Harvey Barnes. 7 million midfielder. He's probably losing value because people are getting rid of him because he didn't score much. I tip him to do much better at this weekend. Same goes for Wolves. I think Karthik, you already took Podence. Great buy. Traore is playing as a right wing back, so he's much further back. He doesn't have those many attacks. He did end up taking a couple of shots. Good on him. But the only I call out for Podence is I wasn't sure that he'll start the games. I'm not sure he'll continue starting because that position is under threat by Jota. So long story short, both of them look great. Between those two and Everton, I see a very interesting top 6, top 7 battle happening, and I'm leaving Arsenal out of that.
Yeah, no, Arsenal looked impressive. There's another club there, Newcastle, that were pretty impressive with their new signings. Jeff Hendricks was there, Callum Wilson. I think they had some other dude also.
They also got Ryan Fraser.
That's the guy, yeah.
Bournemouth, they've raided Bournemouth. Saint-Maximin didn't look like he was doing anything in the game, and he's technically...
Ryan Fraser was a free agent, I guess.
Correct. But, I mean, effectively from Bournemouth to... I mean, he did...
But Mitrovic didn't.
Andy Carroll is not used to winning. I don't know what's going to happen with him there at Newcastle. I didn't see the Leicester game. Did they play okay otherwise?
I mean, they got 2 penalties. Again, if it was United, scene would have happened.
Which is what I'm saying. Vardy didn't deserve.
Penalty. Chelsea got penalty. Liverpool got penalties. Leicester got penalties. City, I'm sure, will get penalties. Everybody's getting penalties. Stop blaming United this season.
United hasn't gotten a game yet. Relax.
We're playing Crystal Palace.
You possibly got a penalty at home.
We will not be able to score from an open goal. So we will get a penalty, don't you worry.
I'm excited about Crystal Palace's latest signing on loan, Michy Batshuayi. I think he will shine. I think that is home ground for him anyway. Zaha look great. I think they have something in the attack, not so much the defense. I'm pretty sure United will score 3 against them, but I tip Palace to get at least 1 or 2 against United's defense, especially.
The Mitchell is nice in Van Aanholt's absence. I think is filled in decently.
You like him because he's 4 million on FPL?
No, he played well last season also. He played some games. He's a young chap. I mean, we look at Crystal Palace defenders, right? Young defenders.
Okay, Crystal Palace, Mitchell and their defense are not getting us any listeners. So I will have to cut you all right there, because you'll have started now talking about teams that none of us care about and nobody should care about. Simply because the better leagues have not started, and that's why I'm giving you all this much time on Premier League.
I think he was referring to Wan-Bissaka as Crystal Palace defenders, which you completely missed. But it's fine.
Okay, that was good one, Sapre. I'm sorry that I cut you off. But I think it's time we take a break. We'll come back with some FPL tips and tricks. We'll give you guys the code as well. We'll also talk a bit about Neymar. And I have a very, very pertinent question to ask Sapre after this.
Advertising is dead. Yep, you heard me right. Advertising is dead. We're all in the content business now. Let's not call it news, TV, radio, etc., etc. It's all content, and we're in the middle of this weirdly exciting phase where all the borders and lines that have been drawn over decades has been swept away by this lovely thing called the internet. We're a show where we don't dwell on just the stuff that is now, but rather the wider stuff about advertising, media, content, and the whole goddamn circus surrounding it. Tune in every Tuesday for our weekly unboxing of the mystery box we used to call advertising. I'm Varun Dugirala, co-founder and content chief at The Glitch, and this is my new podcast, Advertising is Dead.
Welcome back, guys. We're on the morning of Tuesday, 15th of September. All your FPL tables have now been updated with points. Karthik, please go scroll all the way down to the number of, I don't know what, 300 people we have in the Shootball League now, but we'll come to that very quickly. Sapre, how much did you score over the weekend?
I scored 68.
That is amazing. Is that the total points you scored all in last season?
Hey, shut up, man. I started well last season also, but then after the third game week, I just spiraled downwards and never came up. I went to meet Karthik and I could never come back up. So beginners luck runs out when you're not a beginner anymore. I think that is the justification. Karthik, where are you? What is your score?
I am not doing very well. I am on 35 points. It's not a great start. And now I look at my team and Timo Werner has a yellow color marker next to him because I think his leg was iced in an ice pack at the end of when he was substituted after Chelsea's game. So this is not a good start, but I'm confident. I mean, I think I need to remove the two Fulham players. I think that's holding me back.
Yeah, or it's propelling you forward because I'm sure you're saving a lot of money on those players.
But then again, Shivram, I'll just tell you one thing. I mean, I played a strategy of I'll play it for the first 2 weekends instead of one. So I have 3 Manchester City players who I had to all bench this weekend. So I think I lost out a bit there. So I'm playing a slightly long game, especially because the schedule is so weird. Because you don't have teams play some weekends. Sometimes they'll have to play double game weeks.
City are playing Wolves. I don't think 3 City players make a lot of sense against Wolves. But then you are the champ, you know better.
No, I think first things first, I think 35 is actually passing marks for the Indian education system. So well done, Karthik. You've at least passed the week. Let's appreciate what you've done. And what I will absolutely tip my hat to is you playing a longer game. I don't think enough people do that. Salah owners who've captained him have gotten lucky. I don't think they'll get the same returns over the next 3 weeks, and that will lead to more transfers because 12 million ke kitne player hai? They're not enough heavy hitters. So I will say Karthik has a better chance of getting ahead of Sapre. We'll come back at the end of 3 weeks and see where the both of you are. But let's quickly look at the league. Our league, of course, got auto-renewed. Everyone who signed up last year is already there, so jokes on you. What happens for anyone else who wants to join this amazing league, we have a code which is H3OMYA. Should we do phonetics? H for Hitler, A for arrogant, R for rascal, I for Achana. That is a fantastic ad. I'm sure you all remember. That was for Naukri.com a long time ago. H, who's a player who starts with H, man? Harry Kane.
Hendricks, I would say. He did well. He had a goal and an assist for Newcastle. So Jeff Hendricks.
H for Hendricks. Alex Hendricks also because it's a gin plus also played the guitar. Which guitar, Sapre? Doesn't matter. 3 is the number 3 as in Triple H. So just H3 instead of 3H. Remember that. O for onomatopoeia. Is there a simpler word?
Ole.
Okay. Wow, Sapre didn't think of that. Just like every other time. M for?
M.
You guys are taking too long to think of someone whose name begins with an M.
I mean, Mope is there. So.
Yes, Mope for women globally. I think that is a stand we can take. Y. Who starts with Y? Ivis Larocque.
Yari Lima.
Sapre, you live in Vadala, not Andheri. That is Yari Road. It is Yeri Meena, which I'll take that. Yeri Meena. Last is A. A, so you guys can think of someone. Come on.
Abba.
Very nice. Ranveer Singh, welcome to the pod.
Hey, shit, M was Mitrovic. No.
I think both you forgot, the manager forgot, everyone forgot about Mitrovic. Did start eventually. So the code is H3OMYA. I think there's easier ways to phonetically describe that, but sorry, we had to spend your time. You can just find us on fantasy.premierleague.com, sign up for the league. Let's quickly look at the league after week 1. Amazing scores, I think more than the 35. Double of the 35 that Karthik scored. I got 63, and that is mostly because Reece James decided to have a blinder. I don't think anyone expected that.
Yeah, let's just say one thing. You got 63, and our league is so good that even you aren't in the first page.
I'm not. Especially not a Salah captainer. So I will take that as a compliment because I'm in your board.
What a liar. You have 62.
Okay, sorry.
That welcome. 6 spots down, dude.
Alt News has entered the chat. As you can tell, guys, we are very specific with our scoring and with our naming convention. So, Akhil Babel, I hope that is your real name because that's a really cool name. I'm guessing you also have red hair. Your team is called ABCXYZ. I think you can do a better job.
Of his FPL team, yeah.
I guess that is a dead giveaway. 88. In Tambola, there's a very sexist statement which I will refrain from sharing. The next name is also just as, I think, creative. Darshan Bhandari has named his name DB. I think it stands for double bubble. I'm not sure. It could be Darshan Bhandari. Fantastic, Sapre. Captain Obvious, 87 points. Number 2. Grand 11 is number 3. Kavan Jaktiani, a cool name. 86 points. So 88, 87, 86. So close. But Dhiman Parekh in DFC is at 84 points. So gap of 2 points. But 5th is Harish Mulchandani, who has a very clear agenda of winning this league. He wants Glazers out, which is his team's name. Crushers is number 6. We have actually 4 people at number 6. I have to do this. Crushers at 80, 11, which is Nikhil Shetty's team, a close friend. On again on 80, Kafka's Roach. Pie team, again 80, Sarthak Soni. So incredible. And then it's just 10 with 79. So really, really tight. I think as we move through the season, let's see if these names stick around for longer or Sapre enters, the top.
Well, I will, because I have a renewed team name also. I have a fantastic team name this time.
What is your team name?
Called Mason Wants to Know.
Oh, very nice. It's like a guy with a lisp. That is just being mean. Yeah, it's very, I don't know what to say to you, but that is also on every podcast. So quick tips we've already shared during the entire episode. I think focus on at least one player from Leicester and maybe Justin. He's a good wing back. He's proving to be a good wing back. Schmeichel is great in goal. So
are you making up? Who is the Justin now?
Justin is a 4.5 million.
You're just make up names.
He's filling in for Pereira. Is Ricardo Pereira, who's also touted to be moving out of Leicester. So we'll find out. The other player I'm also going to sell to you is Richarlison. I tried to sell it to Karthik. Pickford is great in goal. So maybe you want to go for a Everton defense. I don't know. What will be great is maybe wait a little longer. One more game for Wolves to play City. And then you can go all out, because I think then they have like 5 games which are back-to-back easy. So that might be a good time to double up on maybe Jimenez and Podence, or maybe Traore if you are interested in playing wing backs. But yeah, we're excited to see what's up. We are excited to get more points. What are your changes going to be in the coming week? Any changes? Are you going to play it safe, get it, double transfer free? What is going to happen?
So for me, I already have one United player on the bench. I'll get one City player. I'll keep Mitrovic. I think the first game was against Arsenal. Second game is against Leeds, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, they know each other from last season. So probably he'll be on the score sheet. But as a tip, I guess Arsenal forwards are someone that should be picked up. They're playing West Ham again this.
Would you take Willian, either of you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I had a doubt of whether he'll start because there's Pepe. But given his performance, he definitely will start. And had Laka not scored, then Nketiah would have started. But I think Laka scored, so he'll again start that game. So that's a potent forward line with goals in there. And against West Ham, who are West Ham? Come on. So they can concede.
They will leak goals. You're right. That's a good point to make. Karthik, anything that you want to add?
Yeah, I'll end this by saying I'm going to play the end game. I don't have any hot tips for this week. I'll just have one hot tip. It's that last year's winner was a Chelsea fan, and he got, after winning our fantasy Premier League, a brand new Chelsea jersey. So there will be similar prizes at stake this time.
Our condolences to him.
There will be similar prizes at stake this time as well. So know that you are playing for something. And currently, Akhil Babel, Ryan ka bhai, is on top of our league, but this will chop and change throughout. So yeah, all the best, I guess, for everyone playing it.
I can't wait to buy myself an Arsenal jersey. The Arsenal jerseys look amazing.
Karthik didn't have a hot tip. Karthik just had like Ashirwad for people.
My hot tip is tell everyone about the league. Give them the code. It's H3OMYA. Tell your friends, tell your family, tell your mom, tell your dad. They won't buy the jersey. We will. That was our FPL section for 2020-2021. Okay, so now moving on. Did you all see PSG? So about Paris Saint-Germain, after their Champions League final defeat to Bayern Munich, they've come back to Liga after a break. They've now lost 2 games in a row in Liga, which is pretty much of a surprise. Woohoo! France is going to have a title race. But in this match, 5 players were sent off for like an absolute brawl versus Marseille. It's La Classique. It's the biggest game in France. But it was outstanding to see some real, shithousery on a football field once again. Must say that Neymar's accusations are serious and it probably will be taken seriously. Again, he said he was racially abused on the field. But before that, when those 4 guys was getting sent off, everyone was just punching each other. Yeah, Shivram, have you ever done that? Yeah, have you ever done that on the field?
See, I don't know. I sent you guys this link that Henry talks about racism. And, he says in a particular game, Marega, who actually stood up against racism, and he's a striker. So he started walking off. None of his teammates actually followed, which was a surprise for me. And he also says, why should just the one player who was abused, stand up? The entire team should leave the field. And if you go back to our days when we've played football on the field, you and I have gotten into not the same kind of brawls. Like, we've not slapped people, but there has been verbal exchanges. You see that all of us eventually clump up together, and that's exactly what happens. I'm surprised that, individuals are asked to take stands, and same goes for Neymar. I think everyone should just huddle up and come out together as opposed to doing this individual PR-giri.
Yeah, he did complain in the first half about some stuff being said. But, Shiva, to your point, we said, all of us have gotten into brawls and then we support each other. But, we are better people because we are not anywhere like Dimitri Payet. If you know, right? Dimitri Payet plays for Marseille, did some Photoshop imagery, and replaced dog's head with Neymar's face. I mean, that's really, really bad. Very bad taste after what the accusations were exactly. So, but let's not get into that. Let's leave it at the happy point that PSG's lost two in a row.
2 in a row in the league and technically 3 games in a row as well. Now this is a bit, and it's fun. I mean, come on, put Liga on TV. Like let's watch some France football.
Why?
This would have been a damn entertaining game. Imagine
is Bundesliga on TV, Karthik?
If someone will get it, I will go to the stadium and stream it to all our Indian fans.
This is you. Wait, is Bundesliga on TV or no?
I think Star have mentioned that they don't have the rights, but I'm assuming...
I think they're making up an excuse. Rights nahi actually.
I'm assuming somebody will pick it up because Sony seems to pick up everything. Or there's Eurosport as well. So I'm sure it'll come at some point. Maybe it's a negotiation tactic, Shivram.
It'll be live streamed on TikTok or something like that. Then TikTok, but TikTok is also not there.
TikTok, where we'll watch her.
That also is true. Shit, full Dharam Sankat. We'll have to miss German football. Yeah, this is very sad.
No, VH1 will pick it up, no?
Viacom 18, yeah, that's true. Viacom 18 played the FA Cup, no? Carling Cup.
Yeah, the whatever, one of those. I think FA only.
EFL trophy.
EFL Cup, okay, the Carabao, whatever they call
Carabao.
It. Is,
yeah, whichever is the latest sponsor, man.
Yeah, pretty much that. Okay, lastly, to end this podcast, Sapre, what the hell is up with United's 3rd jersey? Why the hell does it look like a zebra?
It is a zebra-inspired jersey.
They're teaching their players to cross properly.
That's better. Yeah, it's just terrible jersey. I don't know. We just wanted to be United, but the Juventus, sorry, not United. I think we failed miserably, just like I did on this joke.
Okay, so now because we're football and we're everything along with football, we're going to get Shivram to do some teaching here so that all our listeners can learn as well. Shivram's, of course, an expert in all this marketing, all that kind of jazz that happens.
That is my exact designation, marketing.
Usually, these guys, they don't get it wrong, right? Like your jersey makers. And United, for one club, have mostly gotten their branding, their marketing on point. Now, this is a sponsor decision, I'm assuming, to make the jersey like this. But here's where I'm at. Almost everyone is talking about United's jersey as much as they're talking about the excellent Arsenal jersey or the excellent Italy jersey. Has it worked for them, considering the fact that apparently it's still not out on any store to buy? So is this just a gimmick so that people are talking about them?
Sorry. I want to add a point before Shiva answers. I think this is that Auto Expo में गाड़ियाँ दिखती है ना जो just like these are the future
Concept cars.
Yeah. Is it a concept jersey?
No, concept cars actually look good. So I think that analogy doesn't work. But that is incredibly astute, Karthik, that you noticed that. I think the underlying assumption you're making, or they are making if they've made that decision, is that all publicity is good publicity. And the eventuality of that is you want people to be talking about United. I think United does enjoy the biggest global following, for lack of a better word. So they're already out there, and I don't think there's a lack of people talking about them, a social chatter or stuff like that. I mean, same holds true for what you also, again, brought up to our attention, was that FIFA was giving, Pogba and Henderson the same ratings, and basically giving different players similar ratings. And Lukaku actually put out a post because he's clearly a fan of FIFA. I guess there is a button for a second touch in FIFA. But what he did do was he called them out and said FIFA is just giving us lower ratings because they want us to feel angry and talk about it on social, and by definition that will give them extension of visibility. So the underlying assumption in both is that any publicity is good publicity, although I would disagree that this is something that came out of a designer's mind in all good faith, that I'm pretty sure anyone who designs this with the actual intent of printing these on real t-shirts and, like you said, be available in stores with zero sales, I'm just as confused, because I would love to believe what you're saying, it's a gimmick, but it feels too far off from a gimmick. Like, it's, yes, people are talking about it, but it's not like they're talking about it in a good way. So unless everyone's forgotten about United and this is bringing everyone back, United, yeah, I remember they are shit, that represents this jersey. I'm just confused as you are.
And if anyone's seen Madagascar, we're sure that Marty at least would love the jersey. So, yeah.
But technically, he'll just be wearing his t-shirt.
So, on that note, we're going to camouflage away into the night as we say goodbye to you after the first episode of season 2 of Football Shootball. It's a Naya Daur for us. It's a Naya Daur for all our listeners as well. Tell your friends, tell your family, come listen to us week in, week out. We will be back on a regular basis, and football this time seems to be happening almost on a daily basis. Like there doesn't seem to be much of a break. So we'll be covering all the action. Remember to play our FPL league. The code is H3OMYA. And yeah, any parting words, guys?
We buy you t-shirts your parents won't, like you said. We'll buy you the United third jersey if you really want it. I mean, if it's
everybody wants it. It's an icebreaker.
Okay, it is what happens when you break the ice.
Okay then, see you next time.
So if you like this podcast, don't forget to check out other interesting podcasts on the IVM network. You can listen to us on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com. You can also follow us on our social media handles. We are at IVM Podcast on Twitter and Instagram. If you want to reach out to me, I'm Fickleberry Hun on Twitter and Instagram. That's Huckleberry Finn, but Fickle.
If you want to reach out to me, I am Sapre on Twitter and G Sapre on Instagram.
You can reach out to me at iRant, which is IYERANT on Twitter and Instagram. This is Football Shootball. Recognize.
Are you looking for India's most awesome cricket podcast? Are you now tired of listening to the same old guys drone on about cricket everywhere? Edges and Sledges is a weekly cricket podcast hosted by 3 fans of the game, Varun, DJ, and myself, Ashwin. It was established in early 2018, has over 60 episodes now, and is of course now proud to be on the IVM Podcast Network. Each week, we get together from 3 different time zones, the USA, the UK, and Singapore, and we talk about things from the world of cricket, with a focus on Indian cricket. We often interview special guests from all around the world, including former cricketers and cricket media personalities. So check out Edges and Sledges, the cricket podcast, now on the IVM network.
How many times have you motivated yourself to improve your sleep, or lose weight, or be more productive? How many times have you failed? Hi, my name is Ashton Doctor. Tune into my show, The Habit Coach Podcast, where we focus on creating small, tiny habits to improve your life instead of those big, impossible tasks. So make listening to me a habit every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday on the IVM Podcast app or ivmpodcast.com or on your favorite podcasting app.